Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Juha Maloba Weightlifting Sports Channel TV. And today we are going to do a general analysis. Remember, there's going to be the next biggest competition in Kenya, one of the biggest competitions that has happened the last 7 years. Mr. Kamukunji Strongest Man. The event is going to be at YMCA opposite Nairobi University. So I'm going to do a general analysis of the athletes. My prediction of top 3 or top 5 for both men and ladies. But remember, this is just my prediction based on how I know the athletes, based on how I have competed with some of these athletes. And there are going to be different categories of these events. There's going to be bodybuilding, there's going to be weightlifting, there's bodybuilding, there's going to be physique, there's going to be strongman, there's going to be under strongman there's novice. But I like really to concentrate on the strongman bit because that is why I have got a lot of knowledge in. For the bodybuilding part, I'll definitely pull in an expert later who is going to give us a brief analysis of what we think the top 3 are. But one thing I'd like to iterate that this is just my analysis and projection, of which I could be true or I could be wrong. So I'm not tending to demean any athlete or to raise the standard of any athlete. It's just based on my prediction, and I'm really hoping that my prediction is going to be 70% true. So I'd like to begin with the ladies first of all. Under the ladies events, strongman, there's going to be open class. Open class is for the pro category. There's going to be squat for reps, 160 kgs. So as a lady, you put 160 kgs on your back and then you squat for reps. I think the time could be roughly 70 minutes. There's going to be the deadlift max, there's going to be the tire flip, track pull, there's the loading race, and the surprise event. So we don't know the surprise event, we are going to do the 5. Let me start with the squat rep. Squat for reps, I think based on how I know the ladies, I know Jen Ann Hatichi, being one of the best ladies who can squat well, she's going to do well in these squat for reps. Based on her previous competitions, she has always been winning in the squats, and I know her max in squat is above 200 kgs. So for the squat for reps, I expect Jen Ann Hatichi to lead. I expect Ma Flavor to be the second in the squat for reps, though this is just my analysis. Then after that, other athletes, other senior athletes like Liz Tuku will come in. There is Ivy, there is what is she called, Evo Tieno. They could come in after that. So for squat for reps, I give it to Jen Ann. You go to deadlift for max. Deadlift for max, it's a struggle here. Evo Tieno is very good in deadlift. Jen Ann, her teacher, has also improved in her deadlift. There is Liz Tuku is good in deadlift. Ma Flavor is good in deadlift. So this is going to be a battle between the ladies. There is also Ivy is also good in deadlift. But I'm definitely going to give Liz, Ma Flavor and Liz the benefit of doubt to be the top. Then I give it to Jen Ann and Evo Tieno to come in between and go to struggle. So for those 4, number 1, 2, it's going to be a gamble, but I give it for Ma Flavor competing against Liz for number 1. Number 2, we could say Liz against Jen Ann. Then for number 3, Ivy against any other lady that is going to compete. Remember, this is just a handful of the ladies that we are looking at. Number 3, we are going to look at the tire flip. Now the tire flip is an event whereby you take a tire. I'm not sure the size of the tire. The tire is 250 kgs. So you flip the tire. It could be, they could give us a distance, maybe say the one who does the most flips within the shortest time, say 8 flips within a certain distance. So for tire flip, any person who's good in deadlifts is going to do well, and any person whose hamstrings are strong, she's going to do well. Remember, the technique here, it depends on the muscle that one is using. There's a technique that one is using, then there is how one is going to control the breath. So for the tire flip, I'm going to give it to, I have seen Evo Tieno train tire flip. I have trained with her tire flip before. I think I'm going to give the tire flip to Evo Tieno. If she'll be competing, I'm going to give her number 1. I also feel Ma Flavor is going to be very dangerous in the tire flip, considering the way she's been putting a lot of effort. I have seen her train the bus pull, meaning her hamstrings are very strong. So I'm going to give my flavor a benefit of doubt for number 2. For number 3, it's going to be a battle between Liz, Ivy. There is Liz, Ivy, and maybe any other lady that's going to compete. Now, this is just my own analysis. Then for the track pull, I'll go for my flavor for number 1. I have seen my flavor pulling the bus and training with the track pull. I'm really going to give her number 1. I also know Liz to be super athlete. Going to give her number 2. Number 3, I can give it to Jen Ann with the tire flip. With the loading race, now this is where it's going to be a gamble. For the loading race, I'm going to give it to my flavor, because my flavor is an all-round athlete. She's good in speed. Her strength has picked up. I saw her during powerlifting. She's doing very well in powerlifting, and I'm going to give my flavor for this particular event. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is the analysis for the women open class. This is just my own general analysis. It doesn't have to be true. I'm just doing this for the love of the sport, for the love of the athlete. I respect all these athletes, and I wish every athlete the best. Now I'll have to go to the men. I'm not going to analyze the ladies novice because I'm not sure of who is going to compete, but I'm sure for the novice part, ladies, I know Musanga Mukanzi is going to be a big threat for position 1. There's Sharon Hendo, who competes in CrossFit. If she's going to compete, she's also going to be a big threat for position 1 or 2. So there's going to be a struggle between Musanga Mukanzi and Sharon Hendo, Lioness, for position 1, for the podium position for the CrossFit. Not for the CrossFit, for the novice category ladies. Now, this is where we go to the big boys. The big boys strongman open class, Mr. Kamukunji, 27th and 28th May at YMCA opposite Nairobi University. Please don't miss this. For the big boys, the events are squat for reps, 260 kgs against time. There's the deadlift max. Deadlift is beginning at 270 kgs. There's the tire flip, 500 kgs tire flip. There's the track pull. I don't know how many tons it's going to be, but I know it's that track, the one that pulls, the one that's used for Zimamoto. What is it called? The firefighting track. That big track. And the track has to have some water inside it. There's the loading race. When you talk about loading race, sorry I did not explain in the other part, but loading race is whereby you find that there are different loads. Maybe there's a load of 50 kgs, there's a load of 70, 80, 90. So you take the first load, you go and place it somewhere, you run back and take the second one. It's an event against time. So you load you race with the load. You place it somewhere, you come back. So the one that is going to use the shortest time. So basically my prediction is, if the athletes are going to compete, for the squat for reps, I'm going to give it for Steve Wamalwa. Steve Wamalwa remember, holds the national record for squats at 345 kgs, and he really whipped us during the battlefield March 4th at South Sea. Really whipped us in the squat for reps. So I'm going to give him squat for reps to 60 kgs against time. I'll give Wamalwa 11 to 12 reps depending on the time. Maybe assuming the time is 90 seconds, I'll give him 12 reps. The top 3 from Wamalwa, I'll also look at Alvin. Alvin is going to be a threat in this particular competition. Then there's also going to be a gamble between Polycarp Ndindi and Tezila. So for position 3. So position 1 you go for Wamalwa, position 2 you go with Alvin Lee, position 3 it's a battle between, actually I'm going to add the 3, to be a battle between Tezila, position 3, Polycarp Ndindi, and William Gamba, if Gamba is going to compete. For the deadlift max, this one is a bit obvious. I'm going to give Alvin Lee. Alvin Lee holds the national record for deadlift. So I'm going to give Alvin Lee with the max as number 1. I'm going to give Nelson Mandevu for position 2. Then I'm going to give for position 3, I'll give it to Paul Che. Ladies and gentlemen, that is just a brief analysis of what is going to happen. That could be true, that should not be true, and all this is done with all due respect to all the athletes, and I wish everyone the best. Above all, I'm also going to compete. Thank you, and I have not placed myself among either of those. Thank you for your time. And thank you for tuning to Juha Maloba Sports Channel TV. Kindly subscribe, watch, share, and comment.